This is an absolute steal for the New Jersey Devils regarding their backup goaltender and free agent, Jake Allen. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Devils Digest. I'm your host, Ryan the Gosiker, here with you as always. And man, welcome to free agency. But before we get into the program, I want you to be a subscriber to the channel. We just got over our 500 subscriber plateau. We need to get to 1,000. 500 is great. Let's get to 1,000. I need your help. Now let's get into the program. The Devils free agency, it's starting. Tampering, done with. Now people can sign. It is a good time to be alive. The Devils have re-signed backup goaltender Jake Allen to a 5-year, $1.8 million AAV. Now it seems kind of crazy. 5 years is a lot for a guy who's turning 35 going into this season. Don't expect Jake Allen to play that entire 5-year contract, but the low AAV is massive. And you guys know this, and if we're being brutally honest, you heard me talk about, is it Daws' time to be the backup, stuff like that. The answer was yes, under the presumption that Jake Allen was going to cost $3.5, $4, potentially $5 million on the open market. The answer was always going to be go to Daws. But at 1.8 AAV, that is just insane work right there. That is great work, savviness by GM Tom Fitzgerald in order to get Jake Allen to stay here. One of the better, tandems in the league when you look at ability and quality of the starter, and same thing for the backup. The Devils have two legitimate goaltenders, and now I just wonder what that means for Nico Daws. I mean, he's already been in the organization for a long time. This seemed to be the year, and clearly the organization didn't think what I thought, which was he was going to take over the backup role going into next season. He didn't prove enough. So it's going to be an interesting offseason for Nico Daws, but the Devils start their offseason by getting their backup goaltender, Jake Allen, back with them. And, just running through here are some of the contract numbers. His buyout in the last 2 years of his contract, I believe it's if they buy him out in that 2028, 2029 year, he'll only count for, I believe it's $600,000 against the cap for the 2 years that he gets bought out. So this is really, when you look at it, breaking it down, these are pennies, okay? These are ways for teams, in my opinion, especially in hockey because there is no deferred money. This is a way for teams to skirt around deferred money or the thought of no deferred money, and basically just giving these guys these contracts that they probably won't live out, and that, even if they do, their buyouts are smaller, and making it more flexible for the team. And certainly that's what this contract does. Again, the reason I thought Jake Allen was gone and was happy to let him go was because I thought he was getting that $3.5, $4, potentially even $5 million contract. And that is the rumor that was going around. So a tidy bit of business work by Tom Fitzgerald in getting Jake Allen back with New Jersey. That is their first move in free agency. It's going to be interesting, right? Because, Tom puffed his chest. He brought it out. He said his team can't look the same. It's got to be different because it wasn't good enough. Well, this is bringing back the same, okay? So we'll see what they're able to do, but obviously $1.8 million over, 5 years compared to $5 million a season on your AAV. That's just massive. And it's really big for Tom Fitzgerald, and it gives the Devils some flexibility. Okay, now who are they going to potentially target? Nikolaj Ehlers, as you see him on the bottom ticker right here, that's been a name that's been thrown around with the Devils. The question is going to be years in AAV, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be such a great offseason. And remember to always tune in to right here at Devils Digest, because we're going to bring you the latest, greatest content surrounding free agency, surrounding the Devils offseason. Okay, and remember, this is day one. It can keep rolling, right? I mean, it can drag on. It looks like the Eller situation, according to some reports on Twitter and stuff like that, will drag on. So that'll take some time to figure out. But, man, I can't wait. I'm so excited to see what the Devils do. Again, this moves their cap space. I believe it's somewhere around $12.3 million going into the rest of the offseason. So, man, bringing Jake Allen back, Jake the Snake, back to New Jersey. And again, I don't know how you can be upset with this move. I really don't. Again, if they had signed him to a 3-year, $3.5 million AAV, 100%, I'd be on here, throwing everything around. I'd be very upset. But to get him at 1.8 AAV, and a guy who, again, it can't be stated enough. He saved the Devils' season last year when Jacob Markstrom was struggling when he came back from that knee injury, okay? And again, in the season that the Devils didn't really have a chance to win the Cup anyway, still made it to the postseason. And a big part of why they were still able to get to the postseason, despite limping in, the reason they didn't crash and fall was because of the goaltending of Jake Allen, okay? And some of his numbers are here. You can see, this is throughout his entire career. So it's great to have Jake back, as I mentioned, and especially at such a low AAV. And a guy who, again, we talk about this sometimes. We talked about it with Dougie Hamilton, this whole idea of, you're a great locker room guy, but how far can that take you? Stuff like that. Allen's been good for New Jersey since he got traded here from Montreal. Okay, he allowed the trade to happen to New Jersey. I believe he had a no trade clause. Okay, so he waived that to come here, and now he's given this team this team-friendly discount. So it is the best of both worlds in the sense of he's a great guy in the locker room, much needed veteran presence around, to boom. It's he also does good stuff on the ice, and then boom, it also doesn't cost that much money. So great to have Jake Allen back. Super excited. And again, let's get this Devils offseason underway. Let's see what Fitzgerald has up his sleeve. Again, I know in the comments, I see it all the time. We have people that are not the biggest fans of Tom Fitzgerald. That is okay. You are allowed to not like a GM. Let's see what he's able to do, if he's able to get some of these contracts maybe a little bit lower than we think, okay, in order to then make a bigger move. So, and don't forget, they still got to sign a guy like Luke Hughes, okay, potentially Cody Glass if he doesn't agree to the qualifying offer. So, lots to do for New Jersey this offseason, and we're just getting started. But the first move of the summer, bringing Jake Allen back. So, again, keep tuning into Devils Digest. We've got all the moves coming for you. Every signing that the Devils have, we'll have you covered. So we appreciate you. And again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. However you're consuming this content, please be a subscriber. We need to get to 1,000. Man, 1,000 subscribers. 1K. That just has a different ring to it, doesn't it? So help us get there. Be a subscriber and leave us a comment. Again, what do you think of Jake Allen? I have a feeling that a majority were kind of like, hey, maybe it's time to move on to Daws because we thought the salary was going to be more. At $1.8 million AAV, what are your thoughts on the re-signing of Jake Allen? Let me know, and leave us a comment. As always, I love hearing from you guys, so thank you, and we'll catch you next time on Devils Digest.